Hello, my name is Elise and welcome back to Slightly Spoiled. I feel like it's been 7 years since I sat here talking to you. I've made the decision for the foreseeable future to never talk about when my next episode's coming out because it just jinxes me. I got the flu and then I started stressing myself out about my self-imposed uploading schedule, and that's just silly, okay? We're aiming for twice a week, but mind your business if it's less than that. I'm back to talk about Love Island USA Season 6, episodes 13 through 15, and if you're watching on YouTube, you have probably already noticed that I'm taking a little style inspiration from Serena. I don't honestly think it's working for me, so if you agree, let me down easy in the comments. I never do anything fun with my hair, and Serena always does, and obviously we have very different hair and everything else. We don't literally share a single feature in common, but I'm taking inspiration from her, even though I have some bones to pick with her, and we will get there. We left off with a huge dramatic elimination. Hakeem and Andrea are voted off. Hakeem makes no waves, unfortunately. I've been a major Hakeem defender this season so far. He does not make an impact on these 3 episodes. It's like he's not even there. Andrea, people talk about her a lot, but it's not really because they miss her. It's just because it was so dramatic why she was voted off. Rob considers leaving with Andrea, but ultimately decides to stay. He feels like he would regret his decision if he left kind of impulsively with her, and that connection will still be there if he decides he wants to leave, which of course he's not going to do. Has anyone ever actually done that? I feel like these producers are in the business of like tearing you away from the person that you're with when they're standing right there, let alone when they're out of the villa. I feel like they can engineer a relationship for you with anyone. So you're not going to leave to be with that girl that you hung out with for 3 days. From the second that Rob considers leaving, Aaron is sobbing, crying, begging him to stay. I love watching men break down. And I don't mean that in an I hate men kind of way. I really like Aaron. He's grown on me a ton. But I think as a woman, you're raised to think that men just have no emotion. And it's very validating to see like, that's what I would do too. You know, men are just like us. It's hard not to feel heartbroken for Andrea watching this. She's talking to Rob and saying, you know, I would love to be selfish and ask you to come with me, but I'm not going to do that. You should stay. He kind of slips up and almost says that he loves her, which was a huge surprise. And then she's obviously crying. She's walking around, packing up her things. She has 30 minutes to do so, which is a nuts amount of time. I always think that. She's walking through the little makeup area, gathering her belongings, knowing that all of the other women mostly voted her off. And, you know, they had to make a hard decision, but it wouldn't feel comforting to be around those people. And you're just sobbing, crying the entire time. She does have Nicole. Nicole's like following her around, but that seems to be her only friend. So that's hard to watch too. And Nicole, by the way, is sickened to even look at Rob. She's like, oh, you like her so much, but you won't leave with her, you coward. I think Nicole feels guilty for not going home herself because she was really expecting to be eliminated. And this emotion, along with probably sleep deprivation and just general psychosis induced by being on a reality show, gets to her in these 3 episodes. She is losing her mind and crashing out and going off on every single person. And Rob is up first on that list. Nicole and Miguel also decide to come clean about their kiss to their current partners. So Nicole tells Kendall and then Miguel tells Liv, and she already knew because Nicole already told her. And then Miguel and Kendall talk, and Miguel tells Kendall, hey, I feel like Nicole would definitely be willing to couple up with me. And it's really hard to tell whether this is a friendship courtesy or a power move. I'm leaning toward power move. There's just something about Miguel that I do not trust. He seems like a smooth talker and like he would be the kind of guy to go to Kendall and be like, hey, just to be upfront with you, she definitely really, really likes me and you should be really, really scared. You can tell Rob is in a dark place because he does something so out of character. He wears a shirt underneath his overalls. He wears this to sleep, pretty much. He decides to sleep in soul ties because he's just so mad at the world and needs to be by himself. And so he's wearing this turquoise polo shirt with overalls, with a fishing hat. Everyone grieves differently, and Rob does so dressed like a 5-year-old sleeping in soul ties by himself. Next, we have number 3 on our viral TikTok audio list, and it's Leah once again talking about Rob being dramatic with Andrea going home and threatening to go home himself. She does an impression of him that does not sound like him at all. She's like, now you send in 3 home and you're still here, bitch, in your overalls. Now what? Just so everybody knows, I am absolutely regretting starting that list. I'm so in my head about every little thing people say and whether I've heard it before. I think that's number 3 though. Let's rapid fire some more funny moments because again, they just kept coming in these episodes, especially 13 was just absolutely filled with memes. Kaylor is talking about the UK because that's where Aaron lives. And she goes, wait, the UK isn't in in Europe, right? And Leah says no. I have a feeling they're confused about Brexit, right? And they're confusing the EU, the European Union, with Europe, the continent. Let me know your theories. Probably my favorite moment of the show so far is when Kendall's talking to the other guys about how he feels dumb hearing that Nicole kissed Miguel. And he says, guys, I feel like I have a clown nose on, which already is such a funny way to describe feeling stupid. And it really conjures that mental image. And then Cordell goes, you don't have a clown nose on your nose, bro. You have your nose. And that's poetry. Also, this isn't a funny moment necessarily, but I need to call attention to Aaron's swimwear choices, okay? He has officially gotten comfortable on Love Island and he's letting his European boy out. And he's wearing the shortest little neon green bathing suit I've ever seen. I don't know if they're just kind of loose, like gym shorts, but it looks like a bubble skirt. And I love it. Now that Andrea's gone, the dust is kind of settling and people are like, how did you guys reach that decision? That's kind of crazy to send her home. Who said what? Who voted for whom? A lot of them are speculating that Leah is still into Rob and that she's going to make a move, including her friends. Even though Leah claims this isn't true, Janae even goes to Rob and is like, do you still like her? I think she likes you. People are wondering if Leah maybe had ulterior motives in the elimination. And remember, Leah said, I don't know if she is here for the right reasons during that elimination. Leah claims not to have any unresolved romantic feelings toward Rob. She does still care about him and she wants the best for him and wishes that they could kind of have a do-over, but that did not play into her decision to send Andrea home at all. And if anything, she didn't really make that decision. She took a backseat and let the other girls decide. Connor goes to Leah and says, hey, I don't know if this is true or not, but there are rumors swirling about you potentially sending Andrea home out of spite, and I just think you should know that. Leah pulls Rob, and when Aaron sees this, he's already getting pissed, okay? Aaron is so emotional, and I never would have expected it from him, but he's like, oh, already Rob's gonna turn on Andrea? Very nice. Leah's really clear about how proud she is that she never talked crap to Andrea about Rob, and I have to say, I think that says something about her. She's like, do I get a pat on the back for not trying to sabotage your relationship, Rob? I think I deserve one. She tells Rob that she's not sure how their brain cell burnt out. She's kind of sad about it. She lets slip that she's not the craziest about Connor. And then she turns to Rob and she's like, so what are you thinking about? And never in my wildest dreams could I have guessed what he said next. He's thinking about where eels come from, because no one knows, quote, how they reproduct. If I told somebody how I was feeling about them, romantic or not, and I said, what are you thinking about? And they answered me with thinking about the reproduction of a sea animal, you would never hear the end of it. Leah pulls Connor, who's spiraling a little bit because everyone's talking about how his girl is probably still obsessed with this other guy and she just talked to him. And Leah's like, no. I was just worried about Rob. Like, I'm so, I'm heartbroken for him because his girl just left, but I still like you. I want to be with you. And then as they end this conversation, she gives him a boop on the nose and everyone's watching. Mind you, she's disgusted by Connor and she has basically told everybody that except for him. I feel bad for him. He seems like a nice guy. Yeah, I mean, he was talking to Janae and he kind of ditched her for Leah, but everyone does stuff like that on this show. And he overall seems like really sensitive and kind and very patient with Leah. And she's just willing to embarrass him. And it makes me mad. Aaron, being the sweetie pie that he is, makes everybody fresh squeezed orange juice. And he distributes it to all the ladies. And nobody drinks it, okay? They all like leave their orange juice glasses on tables and walk over to sit on the ground and gossip. And so the other guys are talking about how they really want to try this orange juice, or maybe they want some more, I'm not really sure. And so Connor decides to Mission Impossible roll in to steal some of this orange juice back to distribute it to his bros. Leah is in the middle of telling her girlies that Connor is hot on paper. Like, in theory, he should be hot, but he's not hot at all. She has no attraction to him, and Rob is actually hot. And mind you, she just reassured Connor that she really likes him and that she has no feelings for Rob. It's just poetic, the way she's talking about how he's like a hot guy who attracts her not at all. And then he chooses that moment to do a whimsical little roll across the floor. And so she just gets the ick times 1,000. She already had it, but it's like way, way worse now. Rob and Connor have a conversation and Connor says, hey, I feel like Leah's not being truthful with me. According to her, we're in a great place. This is a great relationship. She feels nothing for you and she's really excited about us. but it's just not seeming that way. And Rob's like, yeah, she kind of basically told me she doesn't like you at all. This gave me a totally different vibe than Kendall and Miguel. Like Miguel tells Kendall, yeah, your girl likes me, and it feels like a brag. And Rob tells Connor, hey, your girl likes me, and it feels like I'm just looking out for you. The idea that Leah had an agenda to get Andrea out is really sticking in Rob's head, and he pulls Liv and Kaylor to just be like, can you guys tell me a little bit more about the voting? Leah said that she really didn't have a lot to do with it, that she kind of took a backseat to you guys. And they're like, that is not what happened at all, which kind of confirms his suspicions. Speaking of Kaylor, she and Aaron are getting along so well. They are so cute together, all over each other. It's getting pretty serious, and they're both really, really excited about that. And then another couple that's doing really well too is Serena and Cordell. They've kind of broken past that initial physical lock that there was. They have a little bit more chemistry now, and they're still giggling and just being best friends, and it's so cute. Nicole tells Kendall that he is currently her number one. As much as she's still getting to know Miguel and she still likes him, she values this connection over that one. Miguel and Liv are doing well too. They're very flirty together, and she basically says that he calms her down. She's a very high energy person, and she feels really relaxed when she's with him. Leah gets a text about a dancing game that's happening later tonight, and this is easily my favorite challenge that we've had so far. It causes so much drama. It causes me physical pain at times, but it's like not sexual. It's not gross. Claps. Okay. I love this game. The guys and girls are divided by this big wall, and there's a little dance floor on either side of it. So couples go up one at a time. They dance, they dance, they dance. And then there's like a pivotal moment in the song where they have to decide whether to stick or twist. Stick means stay on the dance floor and you want to stay in your couple, and twist means leave the dance floor and kind of explore other people. So if you decide to stick in your couple, you're standing on the dance floor and the wall is pulled away to reveal whether the person that you're partnered up with decided to stick with you or twist. Let's go through these couples, not chronologically, but in order of how much my jaw was on the floor when I saw the results. Aaron and Kaylor both decide to stick. Yay, staying together, no surprise there. Connor and Leah go, and of course she twists. I was a little surprised to see that he decided to stick. After his conversation with Rob, I felt like he had, gotten all the information he needed to know that Leah is not all into this couple, but I guess he's just loyal and, whatever. He says that he was not surprised at all to see that she twisted. Another couple I feel exactly the same way about is Liv and Miguel. He twists, which I was totally expecting, but she sticks, and I thought that she would twist for sure. Kendall and Nicole went the opposite way of what I was expecting. I thought for sure he would want to stay in the couple and she would want to explore other options, but it was actually the opposite. In my opinion, he was expecting her to twist, and so he decided to do the same so he didn't look like a fool, but ultimately she did stick, and she's not happy about this. But by far the most shocking is Cordell and Serena, who seemed like a lock. The only thing that made me think maybe not was that they went last. So what did the producers know? Well, Serena decides to twist. And Cordell's reaction to this is genuinely so heart-wrenching. He tries so hard to play it cool. He's like such a cool guy, chill energy, never makes a scene. And he's just like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, man, I guess I should have known. Ugh. And this is the craziest part. The people who decided to stick, so the ones who wanted to stay in their couple, are sent up to the balcony to watch as the twisters go to the fire pit and 3 new bombshells are brought in. So the stickers have to watch their people who decided not to stay with them mingle with these new people and each other. Our 3 bombshells are Cassidy, Nigel, who's wearing the same shirt as Miguel in a different color. Did they provide these shirts, or is it just a coincidence? I would love to know. And finally, Kenny. Now, in the spirit of Slightly Spoiled, I feel the need to say I know about Kenny. I've been hearing all of the rumblings about Kenny and Janae. I wish I didn't know, because I think he would have fooled me, although maybe that's a good thing that he's not fooling me. And I'm like, I've got my eye on you, Kenny. He says he hasn't dated for a few years since breaking up with his long-term high school girlfriend. He wants a woman because he's tired of dealing with girls. Oh, are you? Are you tired of dealing with girls? I'm sure. Both Kenny and Nigel say that their top 2 girls are Leah and Janae. Cassidy works in PR and won't let us forget it. She refuses to say who's her type, who she likes. She does mention that she likes outgoing guys, and she talks to Kendall first, and they really hit it off. Nicole is watching so pissed. Kenny pulls Leah first, and they talk about how much she loves animals. Nigel pulls Janae, and they talk a little bit about their travels. Janae always is talking about traveling because she has such an interesting background with growing up partially in Asia. She's also very honest with him about the fact that they have the same birthday month, and she does not like that because she loves her birthday. She plans her birthday months in advance, and that month is going to be all about her. Like, maybe you can get a cupcake or something, Nigel, but December is my month, okay? And then he pulls Serena and they talk about 90s R&B and how much she loves it. And she's like, okay, name your top 3 90s R&B artists. And it's silence, okay? He doesn't have an answer. Now that they've been sufficiently tortured, the stickers upstairs are invited to come down and start mingling with everybody else. Nicole is still ranting about Kendall to everyone who will listen. And Janae's like, have you considered things from his perspective for a sec? Like, did you think about the fact that he would think you're gonna twist and probably do the same thing to protect himself? And she's so mad at Janae. She starts going off on Janae, like, how could you defend him like this? And it's like, she's kind of trying to talk some sense into you, girl. Like, I understand you're feeling upset, you're feeling hurt, but there's a difference between someone saying that guy did nothing wrong and like, have you considered his side of things? You know, maybe he's not a horrible, evil person, and maybe I'm not a bad friend for suggesting that. Serena pulls Cordell, thank God, and he tells her that he feels really stupid for staying on the dance floor when she decided to twist on him. And she's like, I thought we'd agreed that we were not closed off. And it's true that they did. It's kind of like a miscommunication. I don't know. It's so painful because, again, he just is trying to play it cool so much, but he obviously really likes Serena and is like devastated by the fact that they're not on the same page. Before everyone goes to bed, Miguel tells Liv that the reason he twisted is because he is only sexually attracted to her. That's all he feels. And this, of course, hurts her feelings. And she, oh my gosh, it's really heartbreaking to watch this because she is such a strong person. Like, she's so chill about everything. And seeing her shed a tear over this, like, that just will never not get me. Watching someone who plays everything off actually, you know, show emotion. Oh my gosh, I could cry right now. Nigel gets a text in the middle of the night about a secret bombshell group date. So he, Kenny, and Cassidy all have to wake up the person that they want to take on the date so that they're gone by the time everybody else wakes up. Cassidy picks Miguel, Nigel picks Serena, and Kenny picks Janae. And they go on this date, which is pretty much just boating around this like reef and going scuba diving. It's a beautiful date. Cassidy and Miguel don't really have interesting conversation to speak of, but they do make out at the end of their date. So I guess they connected. Janae and Kenny unfortunately hit it off, and I have a feeling that they're going to be kind of locked in from now. They feed each other pizza. They bond over their love of travel, specifically Japan. He loves Japan. She grew up partially in Japan. It's a big deal to both of them, especially her, that he's 24 and she's 27, which I get. That is kind of a big age gap. Like 3 years is not a big deal, but 24 to 27 is kind of a lot of maturing. She says it's a big red flag that he's still single. Follow that instinct, please. And he asks her for a kiss and she gives him one on the cheek, which I love how she's willing to kind of subtly neg a man. One funny moment from their date is she's up on this inner tube and invites him to join her and says that it's Titanic vibes. Serena and Nigel, I don't know if I just love her and Cordell together so much that I'm like, I won't see you connect with another man, but their vibes are very different. He's super like forward and flirty with her. He asks her for a kiss or like kind of jokes, oh, you look like you'd be a good kisser. Can I find out? And she's like, not right now. Because again, she's such a slow burn. It's all she's talked about. Back at the villa, Kendall pulls Nicole aside and she's so pissed at him still. She's like, fine, I'll hear you out. This is your one chance for me to hear you out. And Kendall is so mature. Kendall's grown on me a lot. He's like, hey, I didn't do that on purpose. He tells her how it felt in the moment. And it's basically exactly what Janae said was probably going on. And what I also thought was probably going on. Like, it seems so obvious that he was just anticipating her movements. She ultimately does hear him out a little bit, but she's just so caught up on the idea that he should be proving to her how much he likes her, and she hasn't really considered that maybe he is anticipating that would be wasted on her because she already likes somebody else. She might just be telling both of them that she likes them more so she can hedge her bets. And it's also possible that just because she likes him a little bit more doesn't mean she's ready to close things off, which was the question. He's just really clear with her, like, it was never out of spite. I'm so sorry you thought about that. I'm so sorry that I did this. I feel like she's in that mood, and we've all been there, where you just want to be pissed. And it's like, don't even be nice to me right now because I want to be mad at you. It's a very immature place to be, but like, I would be lying if I said I'd never been there before. It's hard to watch though, because again, I think Kendall's a total sweetie pie and he doesn't deserve that. The drama with Leah is still ongoing. Liv is starting to get really annoyed about all the things she's hearing because, first of all, it's just not true that Leah took a back seat. And also, when she says that, she's pointing the finger at Liv and Kaylor. And it's like, why don't you just stand by your actions? Like, just tell everybody, I eliminated this person, or I voted to eliminate this person, and my reasoning behind it is actually none of your business. I can do whatever I want, instead of being like, it wasn't me. The boat pulls back up to the villa, so everyone sees for sure that it was in fact a group date, and Serena pulls Cordell right away and tells him that she made out with Nigel. And then she's like, just kidding. No, I didn't. It's a little too soon for that joke, Serena. He's been here all morning by himself, wondering which guy you went on a date with. Is it actually a date? Is she totally hitting it off? And then you come back with that joke. But luckily, he does laugh about it, and they get back to their giggling place right away. And she tells him, like, yeah, you know me. I'm a slow burn. I still like you. I'm happy to be back with you. And so order is restored. Thank God. I don't know if Nigel is sensing that Serena's not really going to go his way, but he pulls Liv aside and they have a conversation. She asks him where he's from, and he says Houston. And then it's revealed that he's lived there for 3 years, but he grew up in Michigan. You are not from a place that you've lived for 3 years. In my opinion, maybe this is controversial, but if you are in your 20s and someone asks you where you're from, it's where you grew up. Unless it's like a really complicated answer, like Janae, for example, I would understand if she said, oh, I live in Hawaii because I grew up in a bunch of different places. I'm a military brat. Just say you're from Michigan. I live in Houston. I'm from Michigan. Like, is that so hard? Leah pulls Connor aside and decides to tell him that, things just aren't feeling right between us, and it's not you, it's me. She literally says, it's not you, it's me. You're too good for me. I'm just realizing that something's missing here. He's nice about it, because of course he is, but he does kind of call her out and say, everybody's been telling me that you don't like me that much, and you've been telling me another story, and I've chosen to believe you, and I think you've made me feel and look really stupid right now. And she's like, what? No, I've been completely honest with you this whole time. And it's like, no, you kind of told him, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe what I am putting off to you. Don't believe the way that everyone else is telling you this is going. Leah's a complicated character, and there are things about her that I find really likable. I appreciate that she's so open about how toxic she is, and that she says, I know I need therapy. I know that I should like this good guy that has an easy relationship with me, but I just don't like that. But it's also hard to watch her, say things like, it's not you, it's me, like, you're too good for me. I think those things are actually true about her relationship with Connor, but it just doesn't feel good to watch him feel like stupid at the end of it, Rob pulls her next, and he tells her that things are done between the two of them. That door's closed. And he also knows the truth of the Andrea elimination. He knows what actually happened, and that she didn't actually take a back seat. And she's like, whoa, who told you that? And he says Liv, and she calls Liv over, and they start yelling at each other. Liv says, you need to take accountability, basically. You did not take a backseat in the decision. It was a group decision that you were in favor of. I didn't want Andrea to go home, and you guys convinced me, and now you're running around saying you took a backseat, which makes me to blame. And Leah calls her a bitch. She's like, if you would stop being a bitch for 30 seconds, I could explain myself. And her explanation really makes no sense. She says that when she said a backseat, she actually meant she's taking a backseat to Rob and Andrea's relationship, which is just not a context anyone would ever use that expression. It was obvious what she meant when she said a backseat. Liv is the last person I would ever want to be in an argument with, because she's very confrontational. Like, she's not afraid to get in your face about things, and she's correct, absolutely correct in this conversation. Leah absolutely has an accountability problem, and I think it's right for Rob and Liv to be annoyed about that. She had every right to send home Andrea for whatever reason she wanted to. I do think her feelings for Rob made her vote the way she did. Whether it was just that she was never gonna like Andrea because Andrea stole her man, I don't know. But I think the reason she won't take accountability also has to do with her feelings for Rob, because she knows that he won't like her as much if she broke up his couple. And yeah, it's just a tough situation for her. And I wish that she would be more honest about it. And that brings us to the end of this recap. I believe in the next one, I will be talking about the beginning of Casa Amor, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm less than halfway through this season. And I just have to say really quick, everyone was so correct about this season being superior. Season 7 does not hold a candle. I have full-blown parasocial relationships with many of these people. I'm very invested in several relationships, specifically Aaron and Kaylor, and Serena and Cordell. I love them together. I'm really excited to keep watching the season and keep recapping. I'm having a total blast. I'm not disclosing once again when my next episode will be out, but you know what to do. You got to subscribe, you got to follow whatever it is on the platform that you're using to listen to this right now. Turn on notifications, leave me a comment, leave me a like, do all of those things. And I hope that you will allow me to talk your ear off again one day soon. Bye.